Hey friends,
Hey friends,
welcome back to my YouTube channel. We do have a special guest today. This is my husband. You guys have seen him in some of my TikTok videos. If you guys do follow me on TikTok, you know that we are going to be homeschooling. You guys did have a lot of questions. I wanted to know everything about homeschooling, the process, why we're doing it, and just all about it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We will be answering a lot of the most popular questions that you guys left on my most recent video, and yeah.
All right guys, so one of the main questions we got was our reasoning for wanting to homeschool. Taneri and I have been wanting to do it since last year, really. We have a lot of reasons. One of the main reasons for us is really just the freedom of being able to do whatever we want, whenever we want, not only as a family, but as parents with our kids. I feel like me and Taneri are really involved with them. So, not being able to see them for 7 hours a day really is quite a big deal.
Obviously, when you have a schedule to follow with public school, it can get pretty tough. I feel like the kids right now get home, they eat, do homework, play for a little bit, and then they gotta eat dinner, take showers, go to bed. And the afternoon
it's
flies.
Like Groundhog Day every single day.
Afternoon flies on by. I feel like we hardly get to spend time with them. And you just repeat it every single day. The weekend gets here and it's like you have 2 days with them, and then Sunday night you have to get ready for bed early because you have school Monday. And I feel like we just don't like it. Like, I feel like we really don't like it. And I feel like we noticed it and we said, you know what, we need to do something about this, because I feel like it's just not us.
Aside from freedom, one of the big things is just the teaching style that is offered at a public school is very limited. It's very one and done, very one size fits all. Our kids are more visual, hands-on learners, and that's obviously not always available in the public school system. It's very much, especially now in the school that they're at, it's very much just online programs that they're going through, answering questions, learning, new material, testing on it, and it's kind of like this ever-going process, right?
Lots of worksheets, lots of just computer work. Like, we asked them, like, break down your day for us. What do you do? Most of it was just sitting behind a computer. Our kids tell us that they're bored out of their mind, and it makes us really, really sad, because we don't want them to hate going to school. We don't want them to be bored, like, while they're at school. We don't want them to hate learning. Like, we just don't like that. Our kids, I feel like, are very happy kids, and I feel like lately, like ever since school started, I feel like they're just so different. Like, they're always cranky. I feel like they're complaining. They're stressed out. Yeah, they're stressed out. They're anxious. They're complaining that they don't want to go to school, that they're bored. They're asking us to pull them out early because they're just bored out of their mind, that they don't even learn anything. And we take all of that, like, into consideration, and we're just like, why? Like,
another big thing is that obviously, there's the reward system that's in the public school, whereas if you complete XYZ throughout your school week, on Friday you get to enjoy an extra toy, or you guys get to enjoy movie time, or extra minutes of recess.
You're the star student for
right?
the week.
And that really, unfortunately, really stresses our kids out, because since I feel like we're not putting them in an environment where they're thriving, it's kind of like they're on struggle mode, every single day, trying to stay afloat and kind of stay, at par with everybody else. So when they are not meeting that goal of finishing XYZ throughout their work week, they're not able to, celebrate with the rest of their friends on Friday. So they are left sitting out, on the computer, catching up with work. And I feel like it's just unnecessary, right? And we're kind of putting our kids in this environment where they're kind of set up to fail, pretty much, right? So we're kind of taking that into consideration, as well as, our kids are, unfortunately, even though Taneri and I feel like are very, very big on mental health with them, and we know, even at that young of an age, they can still be sad, depressed, or angry. They're barely learning how to manage all of their emotions, right? So we're there to guide them, but we are also there to make sure that we're protecting their mental health, since we are their number one advocate. And with everything going on in the school system, we started noticing last year our older two kids really being hard on themselves, saying, I'm not good enough, everyone else is better than me, everyone is on level whatever, and I'm still 7 levels behind. Why can't I catch up, right? A lot of comparing going on, despite me and Teneri really going into it and explaining to them it's not okay to compare. Everyone goes at their own pace, everyone's doing their own thing. They weren't really grasping that so well. So with that being said, so last year we hired a tutor for them. They have a tutor that they do math and reading with twice a week, 1 hour each day. All 3 of them are doing it, and it really helped them. It really helped them kind of get up to grade level and kind of stay afloat. But it was the same thing. It's a constant thing every single week that's going on. So we don't like that they compare themselves, and obviously I'm pretty sure that they don't like that. So going from everybody homeschooled during COVID time, so going from homeschooling during COVID where it was just them competing against themselves, then stepping into this zone where they are now competing with 19, 25 other kids trying to be the best, right? It's just difficult. So we don't like the stress that it puts on them. A lot of acquaintances have told us is, oh, well, everyone has to go through that. Everyone has to be, anxious and stressed out and all of these different things. And we don't think that way. We think that if we can remove them from a situation that is stressing them out, causing them anxiety, causing them to not be comfortable, getting butterflies every single day on the way to school, that's not something that's normal. You shouldn't be nervous to go to school to learn, right? So if we can take them out of that situation and put them in a better position, not only for them to feel better about themselves, be less stressed out, less anxious, more happy, more rested, it's kind of like, why not? If we can do it, why not?
We want them to be able to wake up at their own time when their body's ready to wake up, and be ready to tackle on the day and learn when they're ready to learn, and be in a better mood overall. I feel like we have noticed behavior issues in our younger daughter ever since she started school. And I mean, I get it. She's so sleep deprived. She's exhausted. She's a kid. I feel like the freedom to be able to do more with them is it outweighs like the cons, and we're all for it. I feel like we want to give our kids the best. I feel like we have more time for them to do things that they actually love doing. I feel like at school they can't do all these like little programs that they want. Like we can sign them up for an art class, we can sign our son up for a little engineering program. Like it gives us more time in the day to do things that they want to do, more time for sports, just things that they're going to enjoy. I feel like when they're in school, they're only learning for 2 to 3 hours anyway. The rest is just recess, break, lunch, another recess. And I feel like at home, like being homeschooled, they can learn for 2 to 3 hours and they have the rest of the day for themselves to be free, to go play, to
be together,
to be together, to do things that they love doing. Like
I feel like we forget that they are really only this
little
age one time. Our daughter is turning 9. Technically in 9 more years she would be leaving our house, and it's kind of like that's insane for me to understand. 9 more summers, 9 more Christmases, like it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So why would we not want to take full advantage of it? And it sounds a little selfish, but hey, we need to be selfish. These are our kids. And it's not like we're pulling them out of school and we're just all going to be laying around all day. No, we're planning to, we actually have to by law, teach them the main courses. So language arts, they have to do social studies, they have to do math. Those are the 3 main ones. Once we get into middle school and high school, then we have to incorporate a science. Right now we're going to incorporate it just because I love science, and I love teaching it to them. So I think it's really fun. They think it's really fun. So it's something that we kind of both enjoy. So we just do it for the fun aspect of it. We're learning about reptiles first. So I'm having an entire what is this, like a reptile person? I don't know. He's bringing 14 reptiles to our house.
Once again, our kids are very hands-on learners.
Yeah, so they're doing a whole educational show where he shows each animal and describes the animal, what it eats, its habitat, its lifespan, kind of, interesting little facts about each animal. And this is, a professional kind of telling you pretty much. So I enjoy doing those types of things. I know my kids are going to enjoy watching them. We pay for it, we don't really care. And we would like to just kind of invite their little friends over and kind of, enjoy that with them. So it kind of gives them I guess it's a new way to be social with their same friends.
By homeschooling them, I feel like it's going to do so good for our family. I feel like it's going to bring us more together, like together as in the way we want to be with them. Like, we want to spend more time with them. Our kids even want to spend more time with us. Like, you guys asked how our kids feel about homeschooling. They're so excited. Like, when we brought up the idea to them, they were like, yes. Like, they love the idea. So why not? Like,
it was a big decision, obviously. Yes. We're pulling them out of school and we're kind of going against the grain of life, right?
So before we even brought it up to them, we had this whole
we had a full discussion. We were really like, okay, are we gonna do it? Anyone who knows us in real life knows that I've been wanting to do it since last year. I never wanted them to go to public school in the beginning, so I was 100% on board. Teneri was kind of still
I was in the middle,
teetotering, because we have normal doubts, just like everybody else does. We were like, how are they going to get social time? Right. How are we going to make them still have fun and still be kids and all these things?
Public school's like the only thing Like, I went to public school, he went to public school, so that's all we know. We're like, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to send your kids off to public school, drop them off, and that's it.
So we just kind of discussed, like, okay, what would we do, right, if we were homeschooling? We created this. I'm very much a planner, so I want to know what we're getting into before we even get into it. So I created a plan of what we would be doing on a normal day. What would we do on a day that we're planning trips? What kind of trips would we be taking? What's gonna make it worthwhile for them, for us? Why this big change, and is it worth it? Kind of weighing pros and cons. But at the end of the day, that was the only con we could find, was social time and how we were going to fix it. So we found a lot of homeschooling groups. We're not going to join co-ops right away, just because we still need to kind of get the hang of things, and just even though we think that we're 100% good going in, we know it's going to be a bumpy road, especially in the beginning.
Finding our routine, finding our balance.
So I feel like trying to meet up with other parents is going to be even more hard. So what we're planning to do is just,
thankfully though, our kids do have a lot of friends, like they're close, so it's not like they're gonna be socially deprived. Like, they do have a lot of friends already.
A lot of our close friends from high school, we still hang out with, and they have kids. They've been lifelong friends with our kids. So they're definitely still gonna have friends that they see. A lot of their friends from school live in our neighborhood. All of them know where we live.
Some of them are our back neighbors. Like, we live really close to other friends.
There's a park that they're building down the street from our house that is right next to the school. So everyone is going to be hanging out there. So I'm 100% positive we're still going to be very much hanging out with everyone that they are currently hanging out with in school. It's just going to be a little different setting. In school, they're really only hanging out with their friends during recess and lunch. So it's an hour and a half a day. During class time, they're not allowed to talk to each other. They have their headphones on, they're on the screen, or they're watching a movie, whatever. So I feel like we think it's kind of a big deal, but once we kind of get into the groove of things, it's not going to really matter.
Another thing I learned is that a lot of activities that you can look into, for example, our daughter loves drawing, so I looked up art classes near us, and a lot of places have a homeschooling day where they do things specifically for only students who are homeschooled. So then they have their own people that they see, which I completely love. So for example, our other daughter likes horse riding, so she's gonna start that up again, and they also have one day where it's just homeschooling kids. So I feel like that is so nice, because I feel like it's gonna let us have something that they enjoy, and at the same time they're gonna have that social time, because I know that is everyone's main concern. I feel like it was our main concern. Like, it's scary, it's stressful. So seeing that everyone has an option for homeschoolers makes it really like that much easier for us.
Yeah. Next question you guys had was the process to start homeschooling. So we live in California. So in our state, there is
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think there's two different options to homeschool. So one of them is homeschooling with a charter school, where you, from what we understood, the person that I spoke with, is you meet with a teacher once a week. They give you a packet. You complete the packet. You take it back, and you're kind of going through these units.
You meet up with a teacher
throughout the year, once a week, right? So you do get a stipend with them. I think it's like $2,700 in California, or in Southern California at least. But a lot of people asked why did we not go with a charter? I feel like it's very limited, and it's kind of against what we want to do. We want to teach our kids. We want to teach them the material, actually teach it to them in a way they're going to learn, right? And we want to be able to time it as we wish, kind of go as fast or as slow as they need to. So with the charter school, I'm sure there's a way to do that, or you can just kind of push it back a bit or whatever. But I just didn't like the fact that someone is kind of overlooking us the entire time. I want to be the one in charge along with Teneri. We want to be the ones controlling our kids' education and kind of managing it in our own way. I don't want someone breathing down my neck telling me what to do.
And it lets our kids go at their own pace too.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole reason we want to teach them, because I feel like they won't have that stress of competing with anyone else. Like, they're focused on themselves at their own pace. They can take as much time as they need to learn something that they're having trouble with, and when they're ready for the next lesson, we'll go on to the next thing.
Move on.
And we don't want to stress them out.
Yeah. And along with the stipend, it's like, yeah, they give you $2,700. You can choose your curriculum, but the curriculum that we like using, which is the good and the beautiful, is not approved because it has a religion-based teaching. So it teaches them the material, but then it also offers a spiritual view on the same material, right? So that wouldn't be approved. So we basically have these guidelines that we have to match up or kind of follow in order to get the money. And I just don't like that. I would rather pay for it on our own and be able to do what we want, however we want. Same with extracurriculars. Yeah, with the charter, you're able to pay for them with the stipend, but same thing. It has to be an approved extracurricular. It has to be, ran by your teacher first. So it's very limited. It would be really good for us, especially since we're homeschooling for the first time, but we just really want to try it on our own. And hey, you know what? If worse comes to worse and we really can't do it and we really need the guidance and can't find it, we can always switch to charter. It's no big deal. So picking back up on the process in California to homeschool, after you select if you want to do charter, or the second option is doing what they call private school in the home. Yeah, so we pretty much file our home as a private school. We file an affidavit saying that we're going to follow the laws and actually teach our kids. That's the option that we're going with. So you have to file the affidavit between October 1st and the 15th. So we're going to make sure to get that filed next month, and we're pretty much good to start. That's pretty much it.
There's a form you do fill out and sign, and you send to the principal at the kid's school, and then that way they know they're not coming back, they're getting dropped. And that's pretty much it. I feel like the process here in California is pretty simple, thank God. And it's just like straight to the point.
Just wanted to touch on private schools real quick. A lot of people are asking, why didn't we just do private school if we didn't like public school? It's not so much that we didn't like public school, it's just that we just don't like the school setting. A lot of questions also asked how long we were going to do this for. What me and Teneri have talked about is kind of just taking it year by year, kid by kid. We never want to force them into staying at home. Obviously, we're going to encourage it because it's what we like and what's what we want to do with them. But if there ever comes to a point where they get to like middle school or high school, and they really want to try it out again or go back fully, you know, hey, they have 100% of our support. At the end of the day, it's their life. We're just here to kind of guide them through it.
And we did tell the kids this. We did tell them that they do have the option to go back to normal school if they hate it, if they don't like it, or if they just get to a point where like, hey, you know what, we want to go back to school. They can completely 100% let us know, and we will take them back or sign them back in, which they can do. And I know a lot of people are saying, could they go back? Yes, they can.
At any point.
Yeah, at any point they can go back to public school. So yeah, we did have this conversation with our kids, and they're on board completely. They know like that they do have that option.
So another big question we got was who's going to be teaching our kids? Us. I teach math and science, and Taneri teaches language arts, and then she takes over any elective that the kids like to do.
I'm also the cafeteria lady, you guys. I'll be making all the lunches.
Yes.
And I'm the principal.
No, I'm the principal, actually. We have a pretty good system, I think, you know, of the way that we're planning to do it. So we do also have a tutor on board, so we know we can always, you know, kind of go to her for extra help, or if even we're confused with something, we can be like, hey, can you explain this to us real quick, so that we can in turn teach it to them. She's super cool. Her name is Jenna, but we're happy to have her along for the ride also.
The other question we did get was what our homeschool schedule will look like. We can't 100% say how it's going to be right now because we do need to find that routine. We need to find that balance. We're going to go with the flow, see what works for us. And that is the beauty of homeschooling, that we get to do it at our pace and we have the freedom to do so. So
we're not going to be waking up at 6 a.m. I'll tell you that right now. So, even though I only do it like once a week, but
so we want the kids to wake up when they're ready. We want them to come downstairs nice and awake, in a good mood, ready to start the day. We want to eat breakfast as a family. Then we want to get ready for the day, teach, you know, 2-3 hours, however long it takes. And then some days we might take them and learn outdoors. Some days we might go have a picnic somewhere where we learn. We might take them to the aquarium if they're learning about fish, take them to a bee exhibit if they're learning about bees. Like, it's gonna look different every single time or day. So yeah, we don't know what it's gonna look like right now, but we will find our balance, we'll find our routine, and I will show you guys those videos on my TikTok when we, you know, start getting the hang of things. But I will definitely bring you guys along for that. Some of you guys were asking me like how we're able to be with our kids all day, or how do we feel about the thought that they're gonna be here all day. Honestly, we don't mind it at all. I feel like ever since we were younger and our kids were babies, everywhere we were, our kids were with us. I feel like we always tagged along with all of our kids. I mean, we get all the crazy stares, but you will always find us with all of our babies. I feel like we miss having them here all day. I feel like we miss having them with us. We're really excited for them to be home with us. And even though we say we're homeschooling them and they're gonna be home, we're not gonna be home all the time, you guys. Like, I already know us. They're gonna be making lots of amazing memories while they're getting their education. And we can already see how excited they are, and they're counting down the days for us to start. So we only have about a week left of public school, and then that is it. I really do hope we answered a lot of your guys' questions, and if there is anything else you guys want to know, just let us know. We will either answer it on TikTok or on here. But yeah, if you guys want to see more on this journey and see more on how we adapt in our routine and just all the things that we plan on doing with the kids, just follow along.
Don't forget, guys, subscribe to Taneri's channel so you can follow along. You know, it's gonna be a pretty crazy ride. 3 kids in school, 2 kids under 2, 2 parents that are exhausted, 1 parent probably more than the other, but we'll be filming almost every single day.
Scared, we're nervous, but we're ready, and we can't wait to bring you guys along, and we're good. You got it?
Got it.
We're gonna do this, you guys.
See y'all.
Bye.